Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 5 of this week's Look Finance SEQFC Preview Show. With thanks to Vilic Law, I'm Darren Lutton, and this is the Women's Show, where we talk NPLW, BWPL, and Football Brisbane Capital League 1. I've got the usual suspects with me. I've got Karyn Longbottom. Karyn, good evening.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Yes, it is very nice to see you too. We've got Liz Ridley from Ipswich City Bulls. Liz, how are you going?
All good, thank you.
You're down at club, aren't you?
I am.
Keeping smoky company. And we've got the man who can give anyone grooming tips. It's Anthony Costa. Anthony, you're looking very sharp tonight, my friend.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, you had a haircut today, didn't you?
No, I did not. I just woke up like this, mate.
We finally brushed it.
Yeah, I actually washed it for once, maybe.
Ah, that's the secret. That's the secret. All right, let's reverse the order this week. We normally run NPLW backward down the ladder. Let's start with the Football Brisbane Capital League 1. We've actually got the Player of the Year poll happening at the moment, so it's our hot topic. Karyn, I didn't see your name listed as one of the best players in the competition. What's going on there?
Oh, you'd actually have to be a decent level of fitness to get anywhere near that poll. I'm happy just waddling around at the back, and that's about it.
Excellent. I noticed that there was a Pine Hills player that's top of the league. His name escapes me at the moment. She was the last person nominated too for the competition, and now she's top of the league. I had to push Pine Hills to get that nomination through too. So, All right. Let's look at this Capital League 1. All right, so on the weekend, Brisbane City had a 3-0 win over Ipswich Knights. No surprises there. Southside Eagles 2, North Star Women's 3, and Albany Creek. I tipped you to have a massive win last week, and you could only manage a 2-all draw against Caboolture. Anyway, that's the plate competition. Looking at the ladder, so these guys are only playing for 7th, aren't they?
Correct.
Yes. So, Albany Creek. Let's flip over now to the competition. And when I find it, there's so much to look through now, isn't there? I have a look at it and I see Ipswich City are still on top. But Les, what happened?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the coach. I just run water.
It was a 1-0 loss to Karyn. We actually, Football Brisbane filmed it, so we got to see the highlights.
Yeah.
It looked like a very bumpy pitch.
Yeah, very one-sided bunch of highlights, I thought. But anywho, I mean, I don't know what it was. The girls trained hard in the week for it, where there was a mixture of, heat during the day, and they went out there thinking they too easy or not easy. I mean, they were prepared. They weren't prepared. I couldn't pinpoint myself what was going on out there. Tried a few changes. Sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. But Kumara brought it, including elbow. Well, so few inches out of it, but it happens.
Was it 1-0 or 2-0?
2-0.
2-0. There we go. Soldier short. Sorry, Kumara. So we had Trent on the show and last week, and he came up trumps.
Yeah, I even fed him and gave him a beer too. Jesus, that's the last time I fed him.
All right. Looking at the other matches there was a 1-1 draw, Peninsula Power with a penalty, and Virginia 1-1 draw against UQ. What happened there, Anthony?
Look, story of our season. Can't finish. I think according to the stats that we got off in Bet365, nearly 70% possession. I think it was 8 times more shots. I think we had 14 corners. And then their goal was an error by us. Poor Cooper. basically played a ball straight to their winger who just crossed it for a tap in. And you know, she had a pretty good game up until then. So it's just one of those games. And as I said to the girls after the game, we're never going to be more than a mid-table team if we can't score goals, no matter how well we play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the reality of it at the moment. Even against Ipswich, when we lost 4-0, we had 23 shots each.
Yeah.
When you have 23 shots and don't score a goal, the other team scores 4. That's it. You know, I was proud of the girls. I said to them as well I thought we played some brilliant football, really, really good football. But just that final product's missing. So until that happens, we'll stay where we are.
Right. And I have, of course, skipped competitions there, haven't I? I was going to go to the Premier for Cap League 1. Karyn, that's normally where you jump in and correct me.
Oh, look, I didn't want to interrupt you on a roll. I thought I'd just leave it alone.
You guys will all know if you're clicking through Sports TG to get that menu up now, there's so many to go through now, isn't there?
Yep.
So please forgive me. All right. So that was the top end, the premier of the BWPL. Let's now go back to the Women's Capital League 1 premier.
You missed one. That's fine.
Pine Hills, a 2-1 win over Taringa. North Brisbane, a 2-0 win over Toowong. And Olympic, 3-0 over Kangaroo Point Rovers. Karyn.
Yep.
Did you play?
I did. I use the term loosely, though, but yes.
Tell us about the game.
Oh, look, Olympic were just completely dominant, if I'm honest. They probably should have been about 5-0 up at halftime, but they were only went in 2-0 up. And then, yeah, look, they were a little bit wasteful at times, but at the same time, our keeper did pretty well. And, yeah, anyway, that's what it is. I think they're definitely the team that's going to take out the competition. Kim Abbott's just amazing and just helps them basically, get results every week, week in, week out.
And it's just such a star-studded team, isn't it? I was talking to Doherty earlier this week, and she was just saying the only issue that they've had all season is just getting all the players able to show up at the same time every week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you've got Liz Doherty, you've got Jazz Perrin, you've got just quality across the park. Even young FD Avram, it's good to see her back in the game. Coached her when she was 13, and she's just still got as amazing footwork as ever. So she's a great little footballer.
All right, so that result, as we have a quick look at the ladder, Olympic are on 28 points. Pine Hills still them in the shout on 25. North Brisbane on 23. They'd need to win out from there on to take it out, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think, those three teams are probably some of the best that play the best football as well, which is obviously why they're at the top there. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone can cause an upset against Olympic. If they're missing anyone, that might be Pine Hills or North Brisbane's chance to get one up over them. But yeah, I think it's been really interesting this year that the league's been really quite close, which is really pleasing.
Yeah, I got out to watch a bit of Taringa at Pine Hills. I watched the reserves game, and I think, when, as you said last week, the depth is, it is huge. From Cat 1 reserves, the game I watched was, it was like City 4 level, to be honest, watching those players. But, it was hot. They went out there, gave it a shot. And you could clearly tell, towards the end, a couple of girls came on and were on the bench most of the game and clearly ran new to football. But, hey, you've got a reserve comp so that if they ever do get promoted, they're ready to step up. And then when I only watched the first half, roughly, of the first team game, but the quality was a lot better. And I think Cap 1 standard it's a lot closer to mid to high end Resi standard now, which I could confidently say last year wasn't the case. The year before that definitely wasn't the case. So, yes, obviously each team relies probably on those better players, but both teams tried to play football, and it wasn't that long ago that teams wouldn't even bother trying to play football. So was it successful? No, not all the time, but geez, I tell you what, it's coming a long way, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these teams and clubs continue to grow.
Yep.
Olympic are hosting Pine Hills this weekend in the fixtures, which should be a great match. North Brisbane hosting Taringa, and KPR are facing Toowong.
Yep.
Yep.
How's that?
So we've actually got the filmed game for Football Brisbane as well, because apparently we're the only fixture on a Friday night, which is fun for us. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's a little bit of a derby. Obviously, we have a few girls who went from Easts to Toowong at some point over the years, and then obviously the coaches as well. They used to be at East, so it's a little bit of feeling to the game. So it should be good.
What's the relationship that KPR have with East? Why are you playing your games at Heath Park?
So essentially, KPR and East have gone into a joint venture, which allows KPR to have a women's program and get some exposure and try and grow their women's side of the game. And East basically, provides, most of the field availability and facilities and things like that, as well as the coaches and as well as a majority of players, I will say as well. So, yeah.
So what do Easts get out of the relationship?
Essentially, it's purely just an opportunity for the girls who were playing City 1 and City 2 to have more competitive games, because they were really, really dominant for a good 5 years. Maybe 5 years is a little bit, 3 years at least, when the decision was made that NPLW teams couldn't have BWPL as well. So they were dominating those competitions, winning, with very little resistance each year. And it's actually resulted in a better City 1 competition as well. So I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Sounds like a good move. Nice one. All right. Now, let's get to the BWPL. We've already discussed last weekend's results. This weekend, Ipswich City are playing UQFC. Coomera are hosting Peninsula Power, and Annalee up against Virginia United. Anthony, when you play Annalee, what's it like for you, mate? You've spent so many years there. You've built up that league, built up the club.
Yeah, I always enjoy it. It's always a good contest. I think, to be honest, there's only a handful of players there that I used to coach anyway. I've got a couple of really good mates still there. And, all the talk this week has actually just been about organising, making sure we have drinks after the game. I don't think there's been any mention of the actual game itself. And it's always played in good spirits. And if you know some of the girls from Manly, they love a drink and I love a drink. So it works out. And, I'm going to try and convince some of the Virginia girls to hang around as well, because one of the Annalee players did her ACL earlier in the year. Because she's from overseas, she's not covered by insurance. So it's a bit of a fundraiser to help for her surgery. So that's something that we want to be a part of. If our girls can hang around and buy a couple of beers to help towards that, any excuse to have a couple of beers is good. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, playing in Annalee again. So big a pitch. Coming from Virginia to Annalee, I definitely forgot how big that field is in Annalee. So we've got it's a really crappy week for us in terms of injuries and illnesses. At the moment, I've got 22 available, but that's including 6 girls who I am almost half expecting to pull out between now and then due to injuries and whatnot. So we're going to have a lot of girls doubling up those games. So I think it's more about enjoying the rest of the season and let Coomera and Ipswich battle it out for the premiership.
Are we interrupting you there, Liz?
Sorry, darling. I heard yelling out the season. I'm ignoring him. I didn't realise Pete was outside in the door instead.
I'm going to throw the Coomera Peninsula Power game at you. Do Power have a sniff in this game?
I don't know. I haven't actually got to see how they've been playing without Britt. So if you're saying Britt was there, it'd be a much stronger game. But I don't know. I reckon those girls might have stepped it up while Britt's not there and gone, hey, this is my opportunity to shine. So it could actually be a really good game for Power and Coomera. I'm, of course, going to Power.
And taking on UQ for the Bulls?
Yep.
You confident for that one?
Oh, what was your question last week? What's you put that question out there of what's definite that's going to happen? Nothing's definite, So look what happened to us last week. So I hope that we're prepared for you. There again, I had a call from Johnny yesterday, actually, saying, hey, change rooms are open. Welcome to use them. I'm like, yep, sure, no dramas. And I'm like, is the canteen open by any chance? And he's like, oh, that's probably the worst thing about it. There's no canteen. But we'll go out there. We'll prep for any like game. And we've just got to make sure we win the rest of it. Or Coomera drops another one somewhere.
Yeah.
And this could be the weekend. I think this could be the weekend. Step it up.
All right, just quickly looking at the Brisbane Women's Premier League plate. Last weekend, Grange had a 1-0 win over the Lakes. Absolutely nicked the team this season. Up and down like a yo-yo. Vina and Karyn had a 1-1 draw. Good result there for both teams. Looking at this weekend's fixtures, Broadbeach had the bye. We wait for it to turn over. We've got Broadbeach playing Robina, so Gold Coast derby there, and Karyn hosting Grange. Thistle with the Lakes. A couple of interesting games there, despite the positions on the ladder. Yeah. We'll look at those results with interest. All right, Karyn, let's have a look now at the NPLW. Of course, there was no full round last weekend with the teams having a week off. But there were some matches last night and some in the Lions had a massive 9-0 win over Moreton Bay in that rescheduled game.
Mm-hmm.
And Gold Coast United, massive, so important win up against South United. Did you catch any of that game? Or did you see how the scoring happened?
I did catch the scoring. I tried to watch the game, but my stream for some reason wouldn't work. So I saw that I think it was like they traded goals basically. So Gold Coast went ahead, South equalised, Gold Coast went ahead, South equalised. South then went ahead. And then I think it was the 89th minute that then Gold Coast equalised and then scored the winner in additional time. So it was absolute scenes. They were ecstatic, and it's good credit to South for putting up a fantastic match against what is one of the informed teams. But yeah, Gold Coast United just never say die.
And that's the type of result that can win you a championship, isn't it? That can just embolden the team for the remainder of the matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be definitely one that goes down to the wire. I don't know whether Lions and Gold Coast play each other in the last couple rounds. I think they do. Yeah. So that'll be basically potentially the title decider because Lions have been playing really, really good football lately as well. But Gold Coast do have the upper hand with the game in hand.
All right, Capalaba had the bye this weekend. So just looking at this weekend's fixtures, Logan hosting Football Queensland QS. Gold Coast plays South West Queensland Thunder. Lions play Easts. Mitchelton play the Gap and Souths play Moreton Bay United. Lions Easts. Easts, they've been capable of some crazy stuff this season. Do you smell something that could possibly happen there?
Look, I think it'll depend on whether both teams are at their full strength. So if Lions are at full strength, then I think they're very, very hard to stop, particularly with Mariel Hecker causing all kinds of havoc. So it will be interesting to see how East's defence do with it because they have kind of leaked a few goals this year, more so than what I would have thought. So it will be interesting. I think it'll definitely be high scoring regardless of who gets up on top.
All right. Just have a quick look at the ladder here. Those catch-up games will make things a lot clearer. All right, so Lions and Gold Coast are now level on 43 points, but Gold Coast have just the one game in hand. Capalaba in third on 36, and Logan Lightning fleeing to fourth place on 30. They've played 2 games less than Lions. So with their catch-up games, they can solidify their place in the top 4. The Easts are lurking, ready to pounce on 28 points.
Yeah, they would have to win every single game and hope that Logan drop a couple. And it's going to be a big ask because obviously the first up is Lions. Look, they're more than capable of winning, but whether they actually turn up on the day remains to be seen.
All right. So that's our look at the week. Guys, is there anything else that we should be chatting about generally?
I know, I think you're probing for something.
Whatever do you mean, Darren? Nothing's happened in the world of women's football lately. What are you talking about?
We discussed the Football Queensland plan last week with the new clubs, didn't we?
Sort of.
Pretty sure we did.
Wasn't that off air?
Was it up there? Okay. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Three
And maybe
shows a week.
hung up and we discussed it without you.
Yeah, so of course, Football Queensland put out their plan for the development of women's football. They're going to introduce an extra 3 teams, wasn't it, Karyn?
Yep.
Yes. So Western Pride coming back into the competition, and
Wanderers.
Sunshine Coast, they're also coming back.
Yep.
Who was that?
Which leaves places for 3 extra clubs.
Yep.
Right. What are your initial thoughts on the plan, Darren?
Look, how do I say this diplomatically? Look, I think I can understand how Football Queensland are trying to achieve what they want to achieve in terms of reducing the number of players at that most upper elite level. I can understand them trying to do that, but I think that logistically and some of the wider sort of landscape, I think that there's a little bit that they've kind of overlooked. I think that adding 3 other clubs potentially with under 23s and seniors only, and obviously having the 10s and 12 staff is a requirement, but they don't need the 14s and 16s. I think that's an interesting way to go, because I thought the NPL was about development, which means you're leaving out really key age groups there, and clubs who have developed those, maybe they're going to potentially, be competing against teams who haven't done that work, when I don't know if that is wise, but look, I understand it to an extent. But yeah, look, I think it's good that they've gone and said that everyone will be in one pool for the first year, to give everyone an opportunity to settle in and then see where things sit, because you might have a new applicant who's actually really quite strong and going to be stronger than an existing applicant, or an existing entity, I should say. So I think that's good. I think it's good that's being phased in. It'll be interesting to see what the outcome is of the applications.
Yes, and Anthony and Liz, I mean, are there any upwardly mobile clubs that you're aware of that would consider submitting an application?
Don't know, Anthony, what do you think? I read
Virginia, we're going to be applying. It's no secret. We've informed our members today. It's something that we're proud of, to be in a position to actually even apply, let alone if we get it, fantastic. Being around women's football for a while, I think the club's in a good position. I think we are ready for a license, and honestly, I do think we deserve one. The decision's not up to us. We're just going to keep doing what we do. But how far the club has grown, especially in the female space in the last couple of years, something that I'm really proud of, and it's something that the club's really proud of. And look, what will be. But I know we're in the best position the club's probably been in to try and take this next step up. And I'm sure Liz will say the exact same thing about Ipswich City.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we're probably girls from here for a long time. We had so many girls. My older daughter was playing in June. So for us, at the moment, we've got like 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s. Okay, the A wasn't that strong this year, but hopefully, if we're lucky enough, then we can develop those ones. It gives them the opportunity to help slide into the 3s, along with some of our other girls already playing, come back and build that under 23s. And the base around it is there's a lot of players from further west, and like, go out further out, that are driving long hours to go to Brisbane. Gives them that other opportunity one step closer. They're driving an hour and a half to go into, driving. So we've got kids that come from Kingaroy now to play. It's ridiculous. It really is. So we're, if we don't right and will be known. And when should the opportunity come along again. You're hopeful.
I, for one, would love to see an Ipswich derby. City Bulls
Oh,
against West.
Me too.
All right. Well, we might leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone out there. And thank you to my guests, Karyn Longbottom, Anthony Costa, and Liz Ridley. All right. It's been the Look Like SEQFC Preview Show. Thanks to our friends at Vilic Law. We will see you next week.